Hey Kevin, people have been wanting me to dig out these rocks for years.
Yeah.
Every time that I hit it with the mower, they say, just dig it out, dig it out. I say, yeah, I need to. I'm wondering, is it too big for our little backhoes and tractors to get out?
Just how big is it, you think?
We have no idea, right?
Right.
Kevin from Hydrosplus is here. And yeah, he's souped up my backhoes, souped up my tractor, and we're gonna play. Let's get started. You wanna just get ready to get it out with the grapple?
I want to see you pick it up with this thing.
Oh, you wanna pick it up with this?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a pretty big rock to pick up with a little subcompact backhoe. Wow. Something has changed to my little backhoe.
It does take a little getting used to.
It's going to take me a little getting used to. Usually when I make a mistake like that, I don't have enough hydraulics to show that mistake, and right there, it's pretty bad. Okay, what do we have new on the backhoe, Kevin?
Larger curl cylinder. Went from 2 inches to 2 1/4.
I can't hear you because the turbo that you just installed on my tractor
Yeah.
is noisy.
Oh, is it too noisy? And then we've also got a 2 1/2 inch. That goes from 2-inch bore all the way up to 2 1/2.
This is a 2 1/2?
Yeah. So you're
jumping
at 2.
Okay, that should be huge.
A significant increase.
First thought I have is I can probably bend the whole backhoe into a pretzel.
I've been trying and I haven't.
You've been trying?
Yeah, but I have yet to be successful.
Well, and of course I've got the Hydrosplus pump down here.
Yeah, we're only running.
This is becoming the Hydrosplus tractor, I think.
2100 RPMs.
This has got enough power in this boom cylinder to really make me look bad.
So you can actually move yourself around if you needed to. In this case, you probably don't need to so much, but if you wanted to pick yourself up and move yourself forward,
yeah, okay,
without even moving your outriggers. I think you're close to the bottom, but it's hard to tell.
Okay, well let me see if I can get it hooked under there. Now I just want to use this bigger boom cylinder here and the curl. I'm moving it.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Look at that. That was kind of lazy. I didn't even dig it out even half as much as I would have had to before.
All right.
Man, it's got more power than the little tractor has weight.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can even pick it up with that other grapple. That's a load. I've never done a lift capacity test after I put those cylinders on there.
At idle.
Folks, those are upgraded cylinders from Hydrosplus. You're gonna have me tearing up all my equipment.
Yeah.
Folks, I need to bring you a little bit of an update on Johnny X. While Kevin's been here this week, we've made a little bit of surgery on Johnny X. We've been running this area diesel turbo for, I don't know, year and a half. I don't know how long it's been. We've run it and had great luck with it. It's performed well for us. We've had it on the dyno, we've pulled it, we've done everything we possibly can with it. Kevin has introduced a turbo kit that's going to start selling here any day. I think you can pre-order it now. In fact, the pre-orders may already be booked for a little while. You may have to wait a little while longer before you get part of the second batch, right?
Right.
But we wanted to try it out. Somebody on Green Tractor Talk the other day asked me about Kevin's turbo, and I said, well, I think it should be just as good as the Area Diesel one, but I haven't had a chance to try it.
Sure.
So Kevin says, well, you're going to get a chance to try it. I want to make sure that I keep one stock Johnny, because I like to do those comparisons, right, between a stock and the upgraded. And I didn't want to get a third Johnny to put, so I didn't really feel like I had any choice but to at least temporarily take off the Area Diesel Turbo. Got yours on there. Yep. We didn't see any reason to go through the install. Kevin's got minutia detailed installs, not only of the turbo, but of every product he's got on his channel.
One thing I want to just mention that you had said, you've had this area diesel turbo on this tractor, giving it all the things, right? That's important work that it lets somebody like me be confident in developing a product. I've taken a slightly different approach. You can go to my videos and see, my philosophy around it. Everybody's got, something that they might worry about, but the really important part is you're blazing the trail for somebody like me to come in, put a kit together, and be confident. All of your viewers can now say, look, if I put a turbo on this tractor, you can always tear something up, but like if you watch what Tim's done, he's put it through the paces and it's still here, right? And it's still running strong.
And when I look at the details, there's a few things that Kevin has done, refined a little bit over the original area diesel, and a few things he's thought about doing differently. For example, he's got a DPF filter. It's a very unique. It's not something that has a regen. It's a manual clean out. So every so often, Kevin really does, you don't really know how often yet, but thinking of every oil change, you can just wash it out with a water hose.
That's right. Most of us don't really care that much what's under the hood as long as it produces a lot of power and doesn't give us any trouble. Well, what is the complaint of the modern diesels that do Tier 4 is the regen.
Yeah, partially the regen process,
right,
and then partially the perceived unreliability. I mean,
sure,
there's going to be questions about EPA issues. And you have a video on your channel
right,
that addresses your perspective on that, right?
Right.
We'll put a link to that video here. And I don't see any point in us discussing it a whole lot here.
Agree.
Again. Go to Kevin's channel, get his perspective on these EPA issues. It's in-depth, it makes perfect sense. Kevin, anything else that I need to know about this turbo before I blow it up? I mean, before I use it.
Maybe the only thing I would say is I mentioned you blazed the trail of putting a turbo and putting it through the paces, but this engine is not new to a turbo, right? Yanmar has their own versions of that.
They have a turboed version of it,
so, that is a question I'll get a lot, and, I'll mention it here and mention it in other videos, is really, that's why, and turbos are not new to diesel engines, of course. That's something that I feel very confident that they can hold on to it. Now, if you want to put an 8-foot bush hog and go mow sticks with it, maybe not. But
yeah, and we're not putting an enormous amount of boost. We don't really feel like we need to get 50 horsepower out of this tractor. We think the rest of the tractor is not really up for that.
Right.
Between a weight issue and the transmission, we can't really push that transmission any further. It goes into relief anyway.
Right.
But somewhere in the 35, 38 engine horsepower seems to really give a little more snap to the tractor.
Right.
And then when we combine that with your Hydrosplus pump kit, I mean, we've elevated the tractor to another level.
With Hydrosplus, either whether it's 1 series or 2 series, it brings you up to more of a 3R level. I mean, of course, it's not that same size, but as far as speed and some of the PTO capability with turbos and things, you're up there close. I think the biggest thing for me, applies less to the 2R, is this tractor is so nimble, easy to get places. You can mow with it, you can trailer with it so simply. Those are the things that I love about the 1 series. That I like running the 2 series, but the 1 series for me is still my favorite.
He's speaking my love language. On this one, we have 2 of your cylinders, right?
Right.
We have the curl cylinder there, the bucket cylinder, I guess, right? And I don't know what size it is.
Yeah, that's the 2, it's 2 1/4.
And I've tested it, it really helps. And then today we've added this boom cylinder, this bigger boom cylinder.
Right. They're both game changers, I would say. But when you're out here like this on the before, that's probably as hard as you could push.
Yeah.
And you almost can't get your teeth in the ground. Of course, you compensate for that by curling and digging, right?
Yeah.
But now we can start to push.
And I was kind of showing you that on the 260, where I was making a mistake. I mean, because I wasn't used to it having enough power to do that.
And so now you can really push the teeth in the ground. Now, of course, they're not going too much, but oops, it gets a little bit, boy, this rock might be pretty good size. Let's go out here a little further. I'm catching rock all the way out there.
Yeah, you still got rock. Wow. This is making this backhoe to be a competent machine. I mean, it really is working well. We've got a 12-inch bucket on this one. We have 16 on the 260B. Just because that's what we had kind of available. We wanted to use a couple of the stock buckets. We definitely wanted teeth. I had a 24-inch bucket on it, but we wanted teeth. My 24-inch from Mudd's Custom does not have teeth on it. It doesn't look to me like this one's going to have teeth on it by the time we get done.
All right, let's play. Let's just see if we can. Oh, I can't find the other end of it.
You haven't found the end. You got to find the end before we can. Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is going to be a big rock.
Yep. That is. We're not going to be able to move this rock.
May not be able to play with this guy.
We may not be able to get this with Johnny 5. Going to be a lot more digging.
So one of the things I feel like is when you're way out here to press down,
usually there's not a lot of strength.
You just don't have anything out there. You got to, if you bring it all the way in with the stock, you can kind of.
Yeah, you have pretty good power. But you lose a lot of distance, and since you don't have much distance to work with anyway, you need every bit of it.
In neutral, if you step back, this is one of those places where you would, give yourself a little, but you really need to, you don't have to pull your outriggers up if you can.
Forget lifting the outriggers, just lift your tractor up and go. High range. You're in neutral, right?
Yeah. May need to put something down in the front, actually. And it depends on what you're doing. You may decide that you don't need to be in neutral, you need to be in four-wheel drive, in gear, with the front bucket down so you get the most stability.
That might actually help you get some.
Right. Of course, we don't have a bucket on this one, but I'm assuming I moved this dirt far enough.
Well, this is the weakness of a tractor backhoe, a small one, is you can't get your spoils pile away from your work.
Yeah, the point you made earlier on the 260 is it will take a little bit of a learning curve because now you can lift yourself up. You can't just go until the tractor stops. You have to go to where you want to be.
See, one thing I've noticed when I get on a real backhoe, I find that I'm really bad at using it.
Oh, really?
And the reason is because I get used to exaggerating these controls. See how you're just going all the way on all the controls? Yeah. And when I'm on a real backhoe on a bigger tractor, you need to really feather them gently.
Right.
And I don't acquire that skill because on these little guys, it's like, give me all she's got all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think maybe with this bigger cylinder, we're going to learn a little of that because we're going to have to be careful to keep from digging down too hard.
We're running about, almost 2,000 RPMs, so we're not near wide open.
1,900. I don't think you need to be any more throttle. I think it's got plenty.
Yeah, with Hydrosplus, yes.
What is this pump flow?
We're going to be, at wide open, you're going to be about 10. Where we're at right now, we're probably running 7 to 8.
And that's plenty even with your larger cylinders. I mean.
Right. And then people have asked, should they, because this is a 2.75, and the 260 is a 2.5. The question is, should I go ahead and go to the 2.75 on the 260? And my answer is, you can if you want, but I would say no because you don't have enough tractor, and then otherwise you're just wasting flow, which is speed.
I actually think, based on my little experience there, I think you might be making it more difficult because your tractor just doesn't have enough weight.
Especially when you're stock. The thought of digging and putting your spoils all the way over here with the stock tractor, it just takes too long to traverse. And I would have never done it. I would have dug this and put my spoils here, dug this and put my spoils here because I'm high range, right? I gotta.
Getting to know you a little bit, I for certain know why you wanted a faster pump, why you wanted a turbocharger, why you wanted bigger cylinders. Kevin likes to do things fast. He doesn't have time. No time for fiddling.
The faster you go, the more fun you can have, right?
Well, that's an interesting philosophy. I like that. I mean, it seems like forever for Kevin because we've been probably 7 or 8 minutes on this. I've never seen you work that long.
I've never worked on anything quite that long.
Kevin, I'm no geologist, but what I understand that these are called erratic boulders. They don't belong here, right?
It definitely seems out of place.
Yeah, I mean, you got all this nice black soil and then here we got a big rock. My understanding is that during the Ice Age, the glacier would come through here, and it melted right in this area. Well, as it flowed through here, it melted, and it had some of these rocks buried in it. And so then they kind of become buried and mixed all in with the soil. So they're all over the place here. And what I mean all over the place, we have in this 5-acre field, we have maybe 4 or 5 that are peeking their heads out, right? And who knows how many there are.
Even lower.
Just a little bit deeper. And we find a lot of smaller ones. When we were working on the hump in our front yard, for instance, we found a lot of, smaller ones that were smooth all the way around, like they had been.
Right, rolled down here.
Yeah, like ground down a little bit. And so it's not just the big ones.
Does it look like it's moving at all? Putting a good bit of pressure on it.
Vibrate it a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me show you for reference where we are. Even to right here, I'm 2.5 feet, almost 3 feet deep, probably about 3 feet. And he's actually digging lower than that. So this rock is at least 3 feet in diameter, and it appears to go out. We don't even know where the edge is on this side over here. I better get out of the way before you whack me.
Looks like that might be the edge.
Yeah, I think you found the end of it. I'm not convinced you'll get it out of there.
Try to give the little guy a chance.
Well, you know what we do if we can't get it out, seriously, right?
No.
If we can get it moving, we dig a hole beside it, deeper, and push it into that new hole.
I'm not good at estimating rock weights, and it doesn't feel like this one is too much for us to at least shake, but I could be wrong.
My estimate right now is 4,000.
I need it to be 2,500 so I can get it out of the thing.
Oh, okay.
So that's what my guess is until proven otherwise. I just want to move myself like this.
Folks, you can say a lot of things about these Hydrosplus and cylinder improvements and everything, but you can't say we're not testing them. We're giving her all she's got, Captain.
It moves.
Hey, what's that? What's that?
Look at the power of...
My goodness.
Hang on, let me get under here. So one thing is pushing down right here. I'm putting all of the weight of the tractor. That way I can get my tooth under there. And now when I'm curling, that's how I'm gonna move it.
Okay, let me stop you for a moment. Let's think about it. We're gonna move this thing, but we're not gonna get it out. Should we dig out a hole before you start moving that thing so that we can push it one way or the other? We decided to get a cheeseburger and then regroup, and we got little Johnny here. We decided we just dig with both of them. And we're gonna try to dig a hole big enough here for, to maybe push it over a little bit. Pull it over or whatever. Anyway, dig a deep hole here and see if we can get it to fall in. Now, a little earlier I had said that the curl cylinder or the bucket cylinder on this 260B was a Hydrosplus. Well, it's not. We had kind of forgotten, as Kevin and I have talked about so many different things. The bucket cylinder that I have is off of a 270B. I ordered the part number for a 270B. Had a video on that actually. You'd think I'd remember, right, if we shot a video about putting that 270B bucket cylinder on it. The reason to do that was it had a little bit bigger ram. Now, when I did that, Kevin didn't have any Backhoe cylinders. In fact, I'd like to claim credit, I don't know, but I called Kevin and I said, you need to stock Backhoe cylinders. Get me a Backhoe cylinder that's not going to break. Can I have any of that credit, or were you already on that?
I will give you all the credit. We'd seen those carbon free tractors, like plenty of people have had it happen, but I didn't truly believe it could be done until you did it.
Now you have just a little extra swing, just a little extra length than me, and I think it's making a big difference. See, I just have trouble getting my spoils away.
Yeah, I think the 270 is a 7-foot digging depth, right? Or something like that.
And I think this is a 6. I think that's about a 7 and this is about a 6. And those are probably rough numbers, so they're not perfectly accurate on either side. This is the first time, I believe, in all these years, the first time we've ever had these two backhoes digging in the same hole. So it is kind of fascinating.
We're making some progress in a hurry though, right? Look at this.
Hey, for reference, we've been running here for a while. My hydraulic oil temperature is 160. I never even mentioned, folks, that we have a new hydraulic oil cooler from Hydrosplus in the front of Johnny X here. So not only am I staying cool because of my canopy, Johnny X is staying cool. We might have said before that we need a hydraulic oil cooler because we have the Hydrosplus kit. Well, I don't really think that's a fair assertion because I've used standard Johnny in a lot of applications since I've got this temperature gauge, and it gets too hot. I'm actually quite surprised how quickly the hydraulic oil heats up. Using the backhoe, pulling something like a box blade, anything that stresses the machine in that way.
What you're doing right now is creates a lot of heat because you're trying to lift, but you're not actually doing work.
Right. So I'm going against the pressure relief all the time.
Right.
It's like the test we did at Ohio State where we were running at just flat out pressure. Hey, look at it go. Look at her go. Hold it. Let's dig out the hole again. This hoe is so much smoother. I can do 2, sometimes even 3 functions at one time with your kit, Kevin. I really appreciate you coming up with these kits. It's really transformed these tractors.
Yeah, it's a whole lot more fun to use whenever you don't have to think about, what's your next move because, it's too inefficient to try to do one thing versus the other. You just dig. In a hole like this, you're reaching down 6 feet. It is miserable.
You got to fully extend every motion of the thing, and so if you're doing those one at a time, it takes a long time. I think we're going to fill it in now. The interesting thing is we didn't bring a bucket for Kevin, so it'll be interesting to see if the grapple can push. Well, clearly it doesn't do as clean of a job as the bucket. 3 different angles. Oh yeah, I like. Kevin, you and I got to play.
Yeah.
And we got the rock gone.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun, and these little tractors shouldn't have done this.
I agree. This
Stock,
is not
I
the
don't
job for these tractors in a normal circumstances, right?
And stock, we would not have accomplished it.
No, I don't think so at all.
And even being enhanced like this, no, this is not the right job. But hey, a lot of times that's what makes it kind of fun.
Right.
I think I found a guy with more determination than me.
Well, the rock only looked this big.
Yeah,
when we started.
On the top.
Tip of the iceberg, right? But I think we have it low enough. I think it's down probably a foot.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I do expect this to settle, so I don't think we really need to do any better with it. This will be good enough for now, and then we'll get Christy down here with the power rake. Kevin, every time you come up and visit, you bring me new stuff. We have fun every time because you've always got something to soup up one of my tractors.
New toys.
These are available for you guys as well, and not only the toys that we're showing here. Go to hydrosplus.com. You'll see that Kevin's got a bunch of new toys available to everybody, and he tries to make them available in I would say, a conservative price. Your motive is to make as little as you possibly can and still get by.
Still be happy.
Also, subscribe to the newsletter there at hydrosplus.com because Kevin is very detailed about what his new products are, the limitations, the features, and a bunch of upcoming ideas. This guy's got more ideas and acts on more ideas than any other partner we deal with by far. And the ideas that we've talked about over a cheeseburger yesterday and today, they're never ending. Keep supporting Hydrosplus, and he's going to keep supporting the community. That's one thing I would say. So thank you, Kevin.
Yes, absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. Lord, who may dwell in your sacred tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? The one whose walk is blameless, who does what is righteous, who speaks the truth from their heart.